Should all hooks be Scourge Hooks? If you haven't heard this argument before, it is basically that Scourge Hooks are essentially a gimmick idea that punishes killers for hooking survivors based entirely on RNG, and that there's really no valid reason for the mechanic to exist at all. So this is going to be a shorter video. I just want to discuss if all hooks should become Scourge Hooks or not. If you look back at perk design, rewarding killers for getting hooks is nothing new. Pop Goes the Weasel, Barbecue and Chili, Dead Man Switch, Make Your Choice, etc. This changed with the inclusion of Scourge Hooks, which also came with the inclusion of Boon Totems. These concepts were meant to offer newer, stronger perks for both sides, but with a special condition to activate the power. The problem is Scourge Hook Pain Resonance was really the only Scourge Hook that was actually strong. Right now, it's the most used killer perk in the entire game and miles ahead of any other Scourge Hook perk. The next runner-up is Scourge Hook Floods of Rage, which sits at about a 5% usage rate, and let's be honest, that's just Huntress Maids. Also, unlike Boon Totems that have very consistent spawn logic, Scourge Hooks can spawn in ways that literally keep you from ever using them the entire match based on nothing else but bad RNG. And this isn't even that rare of an issue. Even when I went to record B-roll footage for this video, I got really terrible Scourge Hook RNG. They literally all spawned on one side of the map. So what would happen if every hook was a Scourge Hook, or if basically Scourge Hooks didn't exist but the perks still existed? Would it break the game? Not in any way that would actually matter. For more casual players and solo queue, it could feel oppressive, sure, but everything is oppressive for casual players and solo queue. And again, we are basically talking about Pain Resonance here because virtually every other Scourge Hook is unused for understandable reasons. They're not bad perks, but they're not worth the risk the majority of the time. The whole concept has a very gimmicky flavor to it. Why is Floods of Rage a Scourge Hook and Barbecue and Chili isn't? Barbecue is one of the most used killer perks in the game, and I would argue is vastly better than Floods of Rage, and the same goes for Dead Man Switch. Just because perks are new, they now have to be Scourge Hooks? Because that's kind of what it feels like. Another thing is that Pain Resonance isn't even that great of a perk by itself, it just has very limited competition. Nearly every other gen regression perk now requires killers to kick generators for the effect, which is just not very practical for a lot of low mobility killers, not to mention getting rewarded for multiple hooks helps against tunneling. And with a simple modification like making Pain Resonance not work if you hook the same survivor twice in a row, it would be much less effective for tunneling as well. Moving on, there are some other options that don't require the Scourge Hook mechanic to be removed altogether but still help with the issues. For instance, Behavior can make it to where every additional Scourge Hook perk you put on converts 2 additional hooks to Scourge Hooks. So if you put on Pain Resonance, 4 hooks are converted to Scourge Hooks as they are right now. But if you add Floods of Rage, you get an additional 2 hooks converted. Add Gift of Pain, and now you have 8 hooks converted. 10 if you have all 4 Scourge Hooks together, and 14 with Monstrous Shrine converting basement hooks as well. This opens up some player choice. Now you are not completely at the mercy of bad RNG preventing you from ever using your perks. It would be up to you how many additional Scourge Hooks were worth running in your build, giving you some level of control. This is a completely fair compromise and even encourages killers to run less oppressive perks. Now, the most obvious and simple solution is just to fix the spawn logic of Scourge Hooks. They should never for any reason at all spawn in the same corner of a map. There's 4 of them by default, so they should at the very least spawn in different map tiles like totems do. Unfortunately though, with this solution, multi-floored maps would still be problematic and RNG reliant, so adding more Scourge Hooks with additional Scourge Hook perks being equipped is still the best middle ground in my opinion. But let me know where you stand. Is there really any valid reason for the Scourge Hook mechanic to exist, or stay exactly how it is now? Sound off in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching and have a good one.